Hey, yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome to the Scream stream. Time to talk a little Scream 7, ladies and gentlemen. My favorite time of the week. I do want to say, what a weird time it has been. KillJoy Jake not going live on Mondays. What is happening out here? The last two Mondays have gotten incredibly busy for me, unfortunately, right around the time where I like to stream. So here we are, doing our Scream stream on Tuesday. A whole day behind. God. I know, it's crazy, but we're going to be live tomorrow late, so a 7 p.m. stream tomorrow, which is, I think, for some of you, y'all are going to be rejoicing. And I will also have a Black Phone video out early tomorrow. I'm getting to see that one later on tonight, so you guys will see a spoiler-free review of that tomorrow. Trying to think what else we're doing this week. I have a very fun interview that I'm filming tomorrow night with some of the directors of VHS Halloween, and I'm really excited to put out that video. And I'm also planning on doing another Scream theory video. I've been going back to the theory well and thinking about some crazy ideas I have for that. Some crazy thoughts and theories I have about Scream 7. I've really just been doing update videos for Scream, so I decided let's just pitch some theories. Here's my thing with how much of Scream 7 is seemingly already laid out pretty much since January of this year. It's been tough for me to come up with theories, but lately I've been just like, I'm probably wrong, but screw it. Let's have fun. Let's just talk about these things. So much of because of the updates, how much has been revealed already about Scream 7. It doesn't feel like it's the same kind of think tank as it was with Screams 5 and 6. It's been a lot less fun to cover this film than it was with the last two. But I've decided to just throw all those notions out, and even if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I don't care. I want to come up with theories. I want to come up with crazy ideas for things before the trailer comes out and once again gives us more groundwork of things that are definitely going to happen and things that are definitely not. Hence my video yesterday, because I was just like, you know what? I don't care. This is an interesting direction Scream 7 could take, even though it likely won't. I still want to talk about it. I don't care. So that's kind of been the mentality lately. I have another Scream 7 theory coming out. Probably Thursday is when it's going to be. I couldn't get to it today. Wanted to catch up on some updates from New York Comic-Con from this past weekend, which I got to in some shorts. If y'all saw those. And we'll have some more stuff coming soon. So more Scream videos on the way. Black Phone review tomorrow. And then Friday, fun little interview video. So it's lots of crazy, diverse content this week, let me tell you. Jacob Wells is with us. What's up, what's up? Stu Macher returns as the Darth Vader of the Scream universe and has lightning strikes coming out of his fingers, of course, and sends his army of ghost faces to attack Sydney and her family. That's the premise. Jacob Wells, let's go, baby. You must be the writer of Scream 7, because that's gonna bang. Let's go. I'm on the Stu train, as you can see, with the shirt. All aboard, ladies and gentlemen. Stu, come on. Get it up. You know what's up. You guys know what's up. No, but I love it. I want to see Stu shooting lightning out of his... Listen, if they're going to bring him back, go all out with it. Who cares about plot and lore anymore? Just have him be supernatural. I want him to be a ghost. He's zombie Stu running around stabbing people in the face, shooting lightning into them until their eyeballs like burst out of their skull. If they're going to take it down that path, make it a farce, man. That would be awesome. King Matthew III is saying, my theory for Scream 7 is that maybe this Ghostface finally gets a win against Sydney, not killing her, but putting her in the hospital after killing Gail, which would make Sydney be alone if Gail dies. Well, she's still got her husband and her dog. She's not totally alone. But I see what you're saying. I got you. Ghostface getting a dub, though, this time around. You know, Ghostface is 0-6 right now. Maybe we can put some points on the board for old Ghosty. I mean, there's a chance. There's a chance that could happen. We know that Scream 8 is basically going into production almost immediately after this one releases in theaters. So what's up with that? Is this going to be a cliffhanger, a two-parter kind of flick? Kind of like a, Harry Potter Deathly Hallows situation? What's up with that? I'm into it. I'm down personally. I think that would be a lot of fun. We've never really done something like that in this franchise before, and to go bigger with the concept, I'm open-minded to it for sure. I think it's gonna be really tough to do a murder mystery that way, though. That's my thing. It's got to be really tough. You can't. I think the thing they should totally avoid if that's the case, which I should make a whole video about this too at some point, the cliffhanger thing. The cliffhanger thing is, it's difficult because you can't just be like, oh, well, it's one of the, it's one of the people, whatever. It's still one of the people in the cast who's still alive by the time we get to the end of the movie. How many people is that going to be? Are we going to be like, is it going to be between 1 or 2, maybe 3 people that are potential suspects? I mean, even with how big the cast is right now, the suspect list for Ghostface isn't necessarily that big. It's not going to be a legacy character. It's probably not going to be somebody in Sydney's family. If we take those people away, who is it? It's one of these new people. It's one of the kids. It's Anna Camp. It's one of these, you know what I mean? I really don't think it's going to be the family again. That's just repeating Scream 4 in a lot of ways. It's repeating Scream 3 too. I really don't think it's going to be her husband who's had kids with her, or her own flesh and blood child. Like, it was one thing when it was Jill, because that wasn't like her own flesh and blood. That was her niece. That's a total, is it cousin or niece? I always forget. Distant relative, not immediate family. I understand that. I can get into something like that. Her and Jill's relationship, that makes sense why Jill could be a killer. But man, her own daughter that she raised, that's tough. That's tough for me to believe that Sidney Prescott, someone who is the perfect candidate to be a mother, would raise a child that would be so evil. It's tough for me to believe, I guess. But we'll see. Hey, we'll see. Whoever this Ghostface is, though, it would be cool to see them get the upper hand by the time Scream 7 ends, leading into some sort of big finale. That could be fun. I'm into it. Richard J. Skarenki is saying, I have one thing to say. Let's talk some Scream 7 too. I'm sick and tired of seeing Christmas stuff and ads for Christmas on TV. It's getting earlier every single year. It really is, and it's a bummer. I think with Christmas stuff, and you even asked me when's a good time for them to start marketing that. Like, not until November. I agree. Like, middle of November is when I'm like okay with that. I'm just one of those things. It's one of those things where I'm just like, Christmas, like, dude, Halloween is first. Let Halloween do its thing, and then Christmas can come later on. The fact that we're already selling Christmas stuff right now is like, it's frustrating. it's a little frustrating to me, because it's like, man, we still got more holidays. We got Thanksgiving. Why is there no Thanksgiving stuff? What's up with that? Relax on the Christmas stuff. People want to celebrate Christmas all year round, and I don't get it, man. It's just not one of my favorite holidays. Listen, when the music starts playing and it's snow outside, I can get into it a little bit. I'll admit, even as a horror guy, I can kind of vibe with it every now and then. But right now, in the middle of spooky season, absolutely not. No way, no way, no how, is what I say about that. Anyways, what's up? How's everyone else doing out there? We got NRU Cody hanging out with us. We got Paula Fitzhenry. Yo, yo, yo. We also got Gory Tiger. What's up, my friend? Love to see it. Gory Tiger's always coming in with the super spooky emojis, and I love it. It's the perfect time of year for that. Good stuff. Picky Piggy. Hi, Jake. How are you? I'm fantastic. How are you, my friend? Welcome in. Mastermind Killer saying, hello, all. We just got back from 9 days of paradise in Punta Cana. Oh, my God. Dominican Republic. So excited to talk some Scream 7. I hope you had a blast. That's awesome. I'm jealous. I hear that place is gorgeous. So I almost shot a short film there, believe it or not. I can't really get into that story. Maybe one day. But really cool stuff. Punta Cana. Always wanted to go there. Zay a Fool is saying Sydney will be one of the killers in Scream 7. Big doubts, but hey, you never know. You never know what they're going to do. Joe Bamba is saying your jokingly condescending Stew Train mockery example is becoming more and more hilarious. Well, thank you, Joe. Thank you for being a member too. What I will say is I make my jokes about the Stew Train stuff. But I know it would make so many people happy. It's one of those things. I can't help but make jokes about it, because I just feel like it totally takes away from what I love about Scream. I love a good murder mystery. I love trying to figure out who it is from the new cast of characters. And I'm kind of getting sick of the nostalgia. And bringing Stu back to life, it feels like everything I don't like about this series up front, up and center, and that's it. That's taking everything I like, getting sucked out of Scream, all the color and nuance, and just making it nostalgia bait Minecraft movie. So I think that's kind of what I don't like about it. But I know that my good buddy Craven would have fucking loved it, and that's why I can kind of get into it a little bit. I'll probably cry a little bit if Stu comes back. So I can't be completely against it. I am technically on the Stu train in a lot of ways for that reason. Gina is also sharing the Craven Tribute stream, which is happening this Friday over on the Nightwatch Zones page, which is pretty dang cool. So stop on by for that. A little celebration of life for our good buddy, Mr. Stephen Craven Something Scary. We're going to be celebrating him on a really fun stream this Friday. So definitely stop on by for that, guys. It's going to be a lot of fun. Horher is saying, hola, what's up, what's up? Welcome in. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you a ton. Sky Jean is saying, here's one for you. Opening for Scream 7 is the Airbnb guest finding a found footage like a camera or something hidden in Stu's house, where it's Roman recording the opening scene of the original movie. Oh, so it's like recording at Casey Becker's house that was found in like Stu's attic or something like that. That could be kind of fun. I'm into something like that. I'm down for a little found footage element in Scream. You guys know how much I love found footage, so. Gina's throwing $2 out there saying Jake has a goal. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, and Gina just kicked it off. Thank you for the 2. Really appreciate it. If we get 10 super chats, we'll talk Scream for another hour. You know how this rolls if you've been here before. Thank you guys a ton for hanging out with us. Your mom was no Sharon Stone is roasting the hell out of me, saying, Jake, come on now. Niece would mean her brother had a daughter or she had another sibling and they had a child. You're right. Cousin. My bad. I misspoke. King Matthew III is saying, I do also think we can possibly see a Ghostface being unmasked before the final act. That would be cool. I won't say any more than this, but rumor has it that one of the ghost faces is going to get unmasked before the third act, and that's all I'm going to say. That's one of the rumors I've talked about on here, which I personally believe. The real Kratos is saying, "Hey Jake, what's up, Kratos? How you doing? What kind of god are you slaying today, Kratos? Let us know." AJ Zombie is saying, "Hello everyone. Hello AJ. How are you? How are you and your zombies doing today?" Sonic Caden is saying, "My Scream 7 plot is that the new Ghostface is Patrick, who was the helper for Patrick, who was the helper for Billy and Stu." Are you talking about, like, is mayonnaise an instrument, Patrick? And was a ghost face and dies before Scream 3 and it has to come back to kill? So you're coming up with the new characters, what you're saying. There's this new character named Patrick, and he was helping Billy and Stu, the third killer from the original movie, the whole time. That's kind of wild. I'm into it. I'm into some crazy shit like that. Davey Deathray is saying, hey everyone, happy Black Phone 2 press screening Tuesday, y'all. Oh, Davey, you celebrate that too? Oh, baby, you know I'm celebrating. I'm seeing it in a couple of hours, and I am over the moon. You guys will get a video late tonight from old Jake giving you my first reaction, and I'll have a big ol' nasty review video in the morning. Spoiler free, of course, because the movie doesn't technically come out till Thursday. I'm really excited to talk about this one. This is probably the movie in the back half of the year I'm the most excited for in terms of sequels, franchise continuations. Definitely hyped. I'm definitely celebrating, Davey, let me tell you. Sorry I'm Cursed is saying, howdy partner. How's it going? Welcome to KillJoy Springs. Have yourself a sassafras root beer. That's a whole lot of S's. Sorry, I'm cursed. What's up, my friend? How are you? Welcome in. What are we do? So let me know in the chat too. I mean, I know we're talking about Scream, but it is the Halloween season. It's October, so the whole month is Halloween, of course. Let me know what movies you guys are watching. I've gotten a few horror movies in this month, actually. I've somehow found a way to sneak them in, even though I was dead tired one of the nights. Still got to watch Trick or Treat, finally. Haven't seen that movie in 2 years, and I finally got to put it on, which was really nice. But let me know what movies you've already put on during this spooky season, or you plan to watch sometime soon. I also want to throw this out there for my Patreon and channel members. By the way, thank you guys so much for your support. I just watched the movie Vicious from Brian Bertino, director of The Strangers. That video is going to be our little review video at the end of the week for Patreon and channel members, and I'm really excited to talk about this one. I have some strong feelings. Not 100% one way or the other either, and I'm really excited to dive into that one. So lots and lots to break down with that one. Samantha Robinson saying, "Hey Jake, currently watching my Nicktoons Halloween DVD. Rock on." I know you're a big fan of Jimmy Neutron. Let us know. Is there any I haven't watched Jimmy Neutron in forever. I used to be in love with it when I was a kid. Like, that was my favorite show. If my dad was here right now, he'd be telling some really embarrassing story about it because I love Jimmy Neutron so much. There's a Halloween special on there. Come on, for Jimmy Neutron. Let me know. I'm so curious because I want to relive that part of my childhood. Kyle Brandon is saying, going to Cedar Point this weekend, Jake. Get it up. Nice. Get it up, baby. I loved it. Oh man, Cedar Point's so much fun. Have not been on any of the new coasters. I haven't been in so long. Really want to get on those one of these days. Siren's Curse is a new one where it's like you get up on the coaster like this, and then like it does a whole rotation, and then you're like dropped. Look up a video. That'll paint the picture a little better, but it sounds like an insane coaster. Would love to get on that sometime. Legion, thank you so much for hanging out with us. Thank you for being a channel member. What if Stu gets a cloning machine and gets Billy's blood from the original crime and clones Billy with his blood? Well, that's bulletproof is what that is, Legion. That should be whatever Scream 7 is, it pales in comparison to that, frankly. So if there's no cloning machine, I'm not interested. It's no, Legion, I love that. I understand that pretty much every franchise is going to have a movie that's just a farce. I mean, what is Jason X? You know what I mean? It's one of those things where it's like, I'd be okay with it in almost every other franchise, but with Scream being a linear, like one story thing, it's really hard to shift the tone because of that. Like, that's kind of why I was so much more into doing like different pocket stories in the Scream universe, because then you can kind of do whatever with it. You want to bring back Stu and it's a pocket story? Okay, who cares? You know, bring back Stu in a little pocket story and then like we can come back to something else. But it's hard to do that when this whole movie series kind of builds off of each other. You know what I mean? I feel like that's I would argue, even though it is kind of cool, potentially a mistake with this franchise. It's something that I've been on the fence about if I really liked. I think you'd have a lot more creative freedom to just kind of do the Jason X style Stu Macher comes back reveal. Had this whole series not been about, you know, building on top of what came before. But I don't know. It's one of those things. I totally get why people want to see it. It's like seeing Jason Voorhees in a new movie. You know what I mean? That's so exciting. Like Billy and Stu are kind of that for this franchise. But this franchise also is all about Ghostface being a new person every single time with a new reason to kill. So if you don't have that, if you don't have a new reason to be killing people and it's somebody else, it's a repeat. I would argue that's not even Scream. You know, that's my logistical argument for it. That's what I'll say. Wes Carpenter Flicks also saying, hey, yo, jumping up into this live on my way home. Oh, yeah, you are. Jumping up, doing the high jump, getting all the way up in here. I love it. Serenade me with that sweet voice, Jakey. There you go. That's what I got for you. Hit a little falsetto with that one. 42 in the chat. Why not 42 likes? If not friend, why friend shaped? That's what I have to say to that. Ben Urban, thank you for the $10, my friend. Ben, you freaking rock. You're too kind, my friend. You're a member. You're throwing super chats out there. You're keeping the lights on around here. You know that, Ben? Thank you. Thank you for the support. What's up, Jake? I don't usually support found footage as a subgenre, but I don't mind it in small bits, and it would help to mask de-aging shortcomings. This is a all over the place super chat. I love it. If you like it in small doses, I could not recommend the VHS franchise enough. You know, a franchise I definitely have not talked about here at all recently. I would recommend, honestly, great places to start: the VHS franchise and this new Creep Tapes show. There's 6 episodes of it currently on Shudder, with a season 2 coming out on November 14th. And they're like 20-minute little episodes. So like if you're someone who, like, again, this totally fair criticism of found footage is that sometimes the shaky cam can make you sick. If that's like maybe your problem, you're just like, oh man, I don't like when it gets too shaky. It freaks me out. It makes me want to throw up. I would try out a little Creep Tapes, try out a little VHS, because VHS also same thing. It's like just little tiny pocket stories, little shorts that make up these movies. You can just kind of watch 2 shorts in a in a VHS movie and turn it off if you really wanted to. It's not gonna affect the viewing experience by any means. So I don't just throwing that out there. If you want to try to get more into found footage, I feel like these are 2 very great places to start. And there are also found footage movies that aren't super shaky cam, which I could recommend you as well. I wouldn't watch Wreck, because that movie makes me want to throw up just from the subject matter alone. But but there are a ton of movies that are less shaky cam oriented. I think Paranormal Activity is one that constantly is criticized for having so much shaky cam, but that's not really the truth. Most of Paranormal Activity is like still cameras all over like a house somewhere. Some of it's like a little, honest to God, I would say 30-70 percentage rate, like 30% shaky cam, 70% just still footage in a house somewhere for like most of those movies, without a doubt. But you also saying that it would help to mask de-aging shortcomings. Are you talking about like Scream, like bringing back old characters kind of thing? Is that kind of what you're getting into, Ben? I'm curious if that's what you mean or not. Like if they do bring back Stu, from what we know about it, like just from my perspective, and again, totally unbiased here, just based on what we know about Scream 7, the facts, I feel like it's probably going to be some sort of flashback. We have Scott Foley also back as Roman. We have David Arquette back as Dewey. I really don't think they'd be bringing these characters back to life. And here's the thing, maybe David Arquette, because everybody loves Dewey. I could maybe see that, but Roman? Like, not saying that people don't love Roman, but he is a villain in one of these movies. It's one of those things that I just can't wrap my head around, bringing back 3 characters to life. I just don't see it. I could see them doing some sort of flashback to the original film where all 3 of those members were technically involved. Roman was kind of the person, the impetus that brought all the Ghostface killings to life. That makes a little more sense. That to me makes sense based on everyone who was cast. If it was just Matthew Lillard involved in the cast, I'd be like, Stu train, baby. Stu's back to life. Let's go. No doubts about it. But honestly, what do I think they're doing here? I think it's a flashback. I just don't know. I don't know. Like, genuinely, do I think Stu will be alive in this movie, putting aside my bias? I honestly don't think so. I think there could totally be a connection to Stu and all the way back in the day, you know, like something happened back in Scream 96 that's going to affect the events in Scream 7 here. And I'm sure Stu was involved with that, but I honestly don't think he's alive. I don't think that's the story they're trying to set up here. I feel like they would be approaching it in a different way had that been the case, but we'll talk. I'm sure we'll talk more about that later on. Ben is saying yes to that, by the way. De-aging, like if we get a grainy video of Stu and Billy and Roman, it would be more believable than if they are younger. I agree, because I wasn't crazy about the makeup with Billy in Scream 5. And Scream 6 was better because they showed less of him, but man, it looked kind of rough in Scream 5, if I'm being honest. So I'm here for that. I like the idea of like grainy footage, you know what I mean? Kind of crappy, just deteriorated footage where it's just like both of them in de-aged makeup or whatever. I think it would look way better than the crystal clear, very obvious makeup that they were doing on Skeet Ulrich to make him look like he's 17 again or whatever. So no, I feel you though, Ben. That's a really good point. Thank you for the 10, man. Thank you for being a member. I really appreciate your support. Appreciate it a ton, man. Binge with Nick is saying, hey, Jake, Vicious is honestly a great starting out, but I don't know the ending, honestly, though. I have so many thoughts. Thoughts are coming, I promise. I don't want to even say anything about it because this is going to be a longer review. I'm just telling you that right now. I have a lot to say about Vicious. Some things worked for me, some things did not, and I'm really excited to break it down because it's an interesting flick. One of the juiciest ones, I think, to chew on this whole year. Jack Shanley's also with us saying, when is the trailer coming out? My guess, November 14th, same day as Creep Tapes. Why I say that is because we're likely getting a trailer for this movie in front of the next Paramount distributed horror adjacent release. That was a whole lot of words, but basically we have The Running Man dropping on November 14th in theaters, being distributed by Paramount, which same with Scream. Scream is also distributed by Paramount Pictures. So my guess is they're likely going to put the trailer in front of that movie. We could see it before The Running Man drops in theaters, which would actually be pretty damn cool. But I think there's a pretty good chance that the first time we see it is in the theaters in front of The Running Man, will be on the internet the next day kind of thing. So if I were a Scream fan right now, I'd be getting my tickets for The Running Man. And this isn't me trying to sell tickets or something. I'm just genuinely, that's a pretty good bet as to when this thing's coming out. Mastermind Killer's throwing 10 out there too. What's up, Mastermind Killer? How we doing? Would have liked it if Cassandra Peterson is the secret cameo. That's awesome. Fuck yeah. And she is the teacher directing the school play. She could dress like Elvira and be killed by Ghostface in a cool chase scene. I think we got to get back to Scream having cameos from very popular horror people. That's something I feel like we're missing in a lot of these new movies. I love how Linda Blair, for instance, is in like a single scene of the original Scream. Carrie Fisher's a weird one, but fuck it, I'll throw it out there too. Carrie Fisher in Scream 3, just random Hollywood, celebrity, basically, is for some reason in Scream 3, which is cool. Love that. That's fun. Ton of stuff like that in those original 3 movies. I kind of want to get back to that in a way. I hope we see some familiar faces from the horror space show up in the new Screams. That would be a lot of fun. I feel like we've slowly been losing the meta horror element. You know what I mean? So to have someone like Cassandra Peterson, such a big voice in this space, you know what? I don't say this enough. I wouldn't be here without Cassandra Peterson. Like, this is a person who was the horror hostess. You know what I mean? I mean, like the person who talked about horror movies back in the day. I've honestly been super inspired by her show, man, because she always found a way to incorporate her own little sense of humor into it. That's very unique to her. And then she always talked about horror movies. You gotta love that. So I wouldn't be here without someone like that. And to honor that legacy in a movie like Scream would be fucking awesome. So I yes, 100% would love to see something like that. Cassandra Peterson playing a teacher. That's crazy. That's crazy. I love that a lot. Very good stuff. Mastermind Killer. Thank you, Paul, for the 10. Appreciate you a ton. Thank you. Thank you. I hope your vacation was fantastic, by the way. Can I just say that? That's just the coolest shit. Hanging out in Punta Cana. I'm jealous. We got Gabe Houghton here too. Thank you for being a member, Gabe. Love the face hugger emblem, by the way. How's it going, Jake? I'm freaking fantastic. How are you, my friend? Welcome in, welcome in. Gina saying hit that like button, please. Go ahead and do it. Go ahead. Why not? Or hit the dislike if I said something you disagree with. That's how it goes with these pages. If people don't like people don't agree with what I'm saying, they hit the dislike button. That's okay. Don't worry about it. It only breaks my heart a little bit. Gina, thank you for the 2 though. Greatly appreciate you a ton. Legion saying in my theory, all still stock footage from found footage movies use the same stuff. All stills. Oh, like stock footage horror. Are we talking about the new War of the Worlds? Is that what you're going on about? Where they literally like 40% of that movie is just stock footage? Is that what we're talking about right now? That is not the kind of found footage I would recommend. Just for the record, there are better found footage movies out there. I promise. Oh God, I almost forgot about that until I thought about that. Brutal. That's a brutal one. The letter A. What does A stand for today, ladies and gentlemen? I'll let the chat decide this time because I'm just going to say something really gross. Have a great day, brother. Been a while since I stopped in. I'm so glad you're here. You loved him. I'm going to see Good Boy tonight, maybe. Chin up, chest out. As always, I love that. And turn every L into a W. Tell you for Art the Clown. Yes, and yes to all of this. I'm really glad you liked him. I enjoyed this movie, but I just feel like the ending kind of soured it in a bunch. I was just hanging out with some buddies and we were talking about recent horror movie releases, and we were all kind of weirdly on the same page about him. That it's like, I think this is like a really well shot and mostly well thought out movie up until you get to that third act, and then I just kind of feel like it falls apart a little bit. I almost feel like it really wanted you to root for that character, but I couldn't. And I won't say more than that without spoiling it. This is a much more fresher movie. But I still weirdly recommend it because I think there's some pretty fucking fantastic artistry in this film that would make me recommend it. But did I love it? Did I fall in love with it after walking out of the theater? I don't know. I think I need to put my chin up and my chest out, I think is what I'm trying to say. Cuckoo. Cuckoo. That didn't sound right. Cuckoo. That also doesn't sound right. Anyways, letter A. I love the positive words. The positive affirmations are always welcome around here, my friend. Chin up, chest out. Turn every L into a W. Love it, baby. Steve Kalinge is throwing 5 out there as well. Thank you so much, Steve. Greatly appreciate your support. How are you doing today? Let us, you didn't write anything in the super chat, but let us know if you got something crazy out there. Scream 7 wise, a thought, a concern, something you're excited for regarding this film. What are your thoughts on the flick? We're inquiring minds like my own would like to know. I'm curious. Getting back to what the letter A stands for. The letter A stands for another Ohio State national football win this year. OHIO, baby. Let's hope. Go Buckeyes, baby. Nick Chris is saying, yo, Jakey Jake. That's me. What's up, Nicky Nick? Been a minute. Glad I could catch a live stream. I know you love home invasion movies. Oh, yeah. You're damn right I do. Have I seen... I think you're talking about... Wait, have you seen Inside 2016? I thought you... for some reason, I thought you said Hush. And it like auto-corrected to Push. I was like, huh? What's going on? Inside 2016. I've seen Inside 2007, which is a crazy French movie, which, man, that is also a home invasion flick that is absolutely insane. Dude, I've never even heard of this before. I'm looking at it now and I'm like, oh shit, okay. A predatory stranger sets their sight on a pregnant mother after being obsessed with her unborn baby. They will stop at nothing to get what they want. I kind of messed up concept. I'm into it. Okay. You're throwing out some deep cuts here. I love it. Push 2025. I've also not heard of this one. And like, this is a year I actually covered horror. So now I feel like I'm not doing my damn job over here. Okay. So this one, Push, which technically is 2024. I'm just fucking with you. No, this is a Shudder release, probably came out this year, but it was I think an independent film from last year, which is my guess. When a violent attack at her open house sends her into a premature labor. What's with Nick? What's up with the pregnant horror movies? Nick, do we got to have a talk here, man? What's going on? I'm just messing with you. A pregnant realtor must find a way to escape before she gives birth. Ooh, at an open house, so it's not even her house. That's interesting. And a home invasion thriller at an open house is really, that's high concept, baby. That tickles my pickle all day, Nick. Okay, I'm going to have to look into that. But literally both of those, I'm keeping these tabs open because that's interesting. This is on Shudder. How did I miss this? Like, actually, how did I miss this? I religiously watch new Shudder releases, even if they suck. I'm just like, I'm interested. There's always something at least borderline intriguing about new Shudder releases. So I always try to give them a chance. Okay, Nick. Okay, I'm interested. I'm interested for sure. I'd love to see it. Gina's throwing a little thumbs up out there. Thank you so much, Gina. Appreciate the support. Very good stuff. Appreciate your support a ton. We're at 6 out of 10 of the goal already, guys. Y'all are killing it. Oh my God. Thank you, guys. Thank you all so much. Marley Kai's also with us saying, Jake, I have a Scream 7 theory, and the theory is that Ghostface will be in the movie. Dude, I'm just going to be real. I think you're spot on with that one. I think you might be right. I don't know. I think you're onto something there. Guys, watch out for Marley Kai. He might be just dropping straight up spoilers about the movie in this one. Crazy out here. Nostradamus, more like Ghostradamus. I've made that joke in a video before. King Matthew III saying, my next prediction for Scream 7 is that Sydney's husband will be killed in the final act because Sydney doesn't have a good history with relationships. I mean, this is very true. I wouldn't be against that. I really wouldn't be against that at all because I think it would be a nice emotional kill. And I kind of want that out of this movie. I don't think it's a requirement by any means, but after Scream 5, I feel spoiled. I feel spoiled with some emotional strength in these movies. We have characters we care about in a slasher movie. That's built into Scream 7. That is one of its many pros. Play into that. You know what I mean? Make us feel bad that these characters are going through some shit. You know, if you're going to put them in the situation of a slasher again, mind you, this is the 6th time this has happened to Sidney Prescott. Yeah, I want to see somebody die next to her. I mean, I can't believe I'm agreeing with Amber of all people. But she's right. I mean, when you kill somebody who, actually has some sort of weight in this franchise, it gives your movie stakes. Killing Dewey, man, gives Scream 5 will forever be a talking point in this franchise because of what they did with Dewey. Love it or hate it. And that to me is interesting. You know what I mean? Controversy builds conversation. And I also feel like they had a good reason to do it too. He sacrificed himself. He did a very selfless thing. It's a very Dewey thing. Dude has always been a little not super bright, his heart has always been bigger than his brain. And I think that's kind of he lived the way he died. So for me, it all checks out. I think that's who Dewey was in a nutshell. And I kind of love it. So can we have another emotional death like that here in Scream 7? Because I'll tell you what, I was on the brink of tears when I thought Gail was dead in Scream 7. I was like, God damn it, they're doing it again, man. Oh, I can't go through this again. So will they put us through that emotional trauma here in Scream 7 again? I don't know. I don't know if I'll even be recovered after what Stranger Things Season 5 is about to do to me. Dude, if Steve or Dustin dies, I'm going to be a wreck. January 1st, I'm not going to be hungover. I'm just going to be emotionally hungover. I'm just going to be like, oh my God, I'll be losing my mind. It'll be bad. Anyways, Steve Kalinge, getting back to us here, saying, just stopping by. Can't say for the full thing, but I hope we see Stu in some way, shape, or form. Well, we definitely will see Stu in some way, shape, or form. That's for sure. Matthew Lillard's back. I can't imagine they just have him doing voice lines. That would be a really disappointing announcement if they said, that's my my thing about Scream 7 at this point. They've announced that Matthew Lillard is back. They've announced that Scott Foley is back. David Arquette is back. If these characters are not on screen playing the characters that they're known for at this point, that's cheap advertising. I think at the same time, I don't want this movie to be all about nostalgia and being just like, hey, you remember this really cool thing from the past? Because that's cheap, man. Every single franchise does that right now, and Scream is the franchise that is supposed to subvert that whole thing. Oh, all these other franchises are doing this? Well, we're actually going to do this instead. That's what puts Scream on the map in the first place, and Scream better keep doing that. That's one of those just great things about the series that never gets old, in my humble opinion. It's the overachiever of the slasher franchises. So what can this movie do to toe that line? I think they can just do some really cool flashback sequences that set up this new story. That's what I'm hoping for. And so you still get Stu, you still get Dewey, you even get a little bit of Roman spiced in there, a little paprika. Give this thing some spice, baby. But how are they going to make that happen? I don't know. And you're also saying, for Craven, rest in peace. Hope you're doing okay with your loss. My heart goes out to his friends and family. I really appreciate that. That's my thing, though. Even though I think there's the logistical argument there, I just know that if he does come back, I'm just going to be overwhelmed with emotion. I know that Craven would just absolutely love it. He would have been jumping up and down with joy. And that makes me very happy. So I think that I'm just telling you guys right now, no matter what Scream 7 is, I'm biased. I think I'm just going to like it. I'm just going to have a fun time with it. It's a movie franchise that has completely changed my life at this point. And I don't feel like I can really give an objective take on it anymore. If that, drives you away from my, from my content or whatever, well, that's just me being transparent is what it is. I have too much I have too much emotional weight with this franchise now for me to really give it a shitty review or this or that. But hey, I still cover other movies on here, so so at least there's that, right? Anyways, Luke Kai is saying, Jake, how are you doing, King Sir? I'm fantastic, Luke. How are you, my friend? What do you think makes Scream as a horror franchise stand out from the crowd, and how do you think Scream as a whole will move on into the future? Maybe more sequels to come. Just diving into that second question there, because I think it's just such an easy answer, is Scream will never die. It's just one of those franchises that is too big to potentially go just to the wayside. There will always be fans of Scream, just like how there's always going to be fans of A Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, and Halloween. These are also franchises that will never die. And I know it's easy to point at A Nightmare on Elm Street and say, well, Jake, we haven't had a new anything from that series since 2010. Here's the thing, though. If a new Nightmare on Elm Street dropped right now, like in theaters, I guarantee you it would make $100 million because there are so many fans of that franchise. That's what is still alive. That is what is still alive about all of those franchises I just named, is their fans are still hungry for more. And it's the same thing with Scream. This is a franchise that will never die. It'll never go away. So what do we do to keep this engine rolling? Because the reality of the situation, and I know so many people just want to put a bow on this series and call Scream 7 the final one. Sydney's story sunsets. Now we're done. That's just never going to happen. I'm telling you that right now. They're going to finish Sydney's story, and Scream is going to carry on whether we like it or not. So to me, what do we do to keep this franchise fresh? We focus on its best elements, and those great elements is that Scream can always be analyzing the current state of horror. There's always going to be something new going on in this genre. As the 2020s have proven, it is another golden age for the genre, and it's a great time to be covering it because, man, there's some really interesting things happening right now, all over the place. Not even just one subgenre or the other. There's so many different weird movies coming out every single year that are absolute bangers for totally different reasons. I mean, 2024 was a totally different year than 2025. I mean, it's outrageous how different things have been. Slashers last year, fucking awesome. Slashers this year, trash. It's crazy. I mean, it's like actually kind of crazy, the night and day difference between how much horror has fluctuated just in a year. But it's nuts to me. I love that. And I really think that if they were to focus on what is Scream's best elements, which is having a really good murder mystery, focusing on some of the biggest things going on in the genre right now, and kind of maybe poking fun at it in its own little sophisticated, weird way, I think this series could go on forever. I really do. I think they could just be making Scream movies year after year with totally different ideas, different motives relating, that are incidental, as Randy said back in the original. I think they could keep this franchise going forever and onwards. But I also feel like a lot of people look at this franchise the same way as something like Scooby-Doo, where they're just hanging out here for the characters. And I totally respect that. I totally get that. I think there are some great characters in Scream, and that's one of the reasons that it's endured. There's no doubt about that in my mind. But in my mind, I know that Nev Campbell and David Arquette and Courtney Cox, these are not people who are going to live forever. And Scream is going to outlive them. Just like how Scream has outlived Wes Craven, despite people thinking that the series was going to die with him. You know what I mean? It's one of those things where it's like, well, we have to lay that groundwork so the series can go on forever. It's just a matter of respect, I think, because this series will go on, and will it have a good place, a good jumping point to move on from, or what's going to happen, are we really going to just kill this franchise despite future fans, kids who haven't even been born yet who are going to love this series? That's the situation. That's why I'm so pro Scream moving in new directions, because they're gonna make more Scream movies. Would you rather them recast Sidney Prescott, or would you rather them just tell new murder mystery stories? That's my thing about it. So I love that we're getting new Sidney stories. That's awesome. But like, Scream they're gonna make Scream 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Do we really want that to be, redundant stories that don't push this, don't do anything for the character of Sidney Prescott, don't do anything for the things that we love about Scream? I would argue no. I really hope that they lay that groundwork at some point so that Scream can keep going, because it will. And I would rather it be of quality, things that I want to watch, versus not very good stuff and just kind of, well, we're just repeating the same thing that already happened. That's no fun. But anyways, I'll get off my soapbox, because I could just talk and talk and talk about how I'm worried Scream is shifting into the wrong direction right now, but hopefully it doesn't. My Chunky Jordy, Gina saying, make it different. I agree. Oh my God. And Gina saying, Steven will agree Mindy needs to be offed. I can't speak for, rest in peace, Steven. I can't speak for the dead there. But what I'll say is, I don't really know if a Mindy, what would a Mindy death do for the series? You know what I mean? I think when I'm looking at people who not should die, but people who could die, I'm looking for something that's really going to hit, and I feel like there's a lot of people that don't like Mindy. I don't know what that would, I don't know what that would do. You know what I mean? I want some emotional weight with legacy characters who die. I feel like there was a little bit of that even with Judy's death in Scream 5. You know what I mean? And I kind of felt like, oh man, like I was a little heartbroken there. I'm like, I can't believe they killed her. And then they killed Dewey. And then I feel like everyone kind of forgot that Judy died in Scream 5 because of that scene. But for me, I think I need weight with these characters. I need to like them a little bit before they die. And this is so awful to say, but I think Mindy just is a character that they refuse to write down a direction that works. And I think what the effort there is they're trying to do something that's the opposite of Randy, to be different, to stand out in the newer movies, not repeat the same thing. But again, I think there are just some tried and true things about the original Scream that you shouldn't change. And one of those things is the way they approach the Randy character. I'm taking a pause here because we just got ourselves a little ad. I'm not sure if everybody got that. Okay, well, we'll keep going now. I've been noticing, so I'm keeping my live chats on now. I'm keeping my streams up on the other page because I'm realizing that ads will play in the middle of a sentence and people will miss something. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to try to, when that happens, I'm going to try to hit a pause just real quick. And I unfortunately, we're 42 minutes into this and I'm just remembering that I was going to do that. But I think if we're gonna kill a legacy character, I want it to be someone who's gonna break my heart, because I want to feel something going into a Scream movie. Maybe that's me being absolutely crazy, but I want to feel something if we kill off one of these characters. I think I would be honestly pretty devastated about Chad dying, and then Mindy reacting to it. I might care a little more about Mindy then. I feel like that would kind of set up that a little better maybe for the future. So if Chad goes, I'd be pretty upset. Jonathan, Gina, thank you for the 2 though. I really appreciate it. Thank you for the support. Jonathan Exler saying, Jake, do you like Lorna Shore or Spite? I think I know who Spite is. I definitely know who Lorna Shore is. Have listened to them before in the past. I'll tell you this, the metal band I've been into recently is Chat Pile. I don't know if anyone listens to Chat Pile or not, but man, loving this band. They are so weird. They are bizarre, man. They have 2 albums and they have a new one coming out at the end of the month, I believe. Yeah, on Halloween Day, they have a new album coming out. Dude, I'll be lost in that album that day. I'm just telling you that right now. Love me some Chat Pile. Very big fan. Very, very big fan of that band. I'll tell you what. But if you want some weird metal, check them out. One of their songs was featured during the credits of VHS Halloween, and I heard it and I'm like, what is this? This is it's a song about Grimace stealing your weed. And that's listen, I hear a concept like that and I'm sold. I'm like, okay, well now I need to listen to everything about this. I need to know everything about this band. And I looked them up, listened to that first album, and it bangs. Their second album's even better. But yeah, Chat Pile, highly recommend. Very good stuff there. I'm a huge metalhead, so if you have any metal bands to recommend, please send them my way. I'm all about that. Mastermind Killer's throwing another 5 out there. Thank you for the support, my friend. Putacana was awesome. We shot I Still Know What You Did Last Summer, the sequel remake. Oh, I gotta see that. I gotta see those that's funny as fuck. I love it. Yeah, so did you recreate like shots from the movie? I'm just so curious. That's really funny. I love that. Oh man. That's got to be a gorgeous place to shoot stuff. I want to shoot something in like palm tree land. You know what I mean? The juxtaposition of doing horror in somewhere that's just beautiful and tropical like that. I love it so much. One of my all-time favorite movies is Zombie from 1979, and it kind of captures that same energy. You're watching these, corpses walk around with flesh falling off of their faces, but there's also like gorgeous palm trees, bright colors. It's such a great juxtaposition. I Still Know What You Did Last Summer kind of hits on that same thing. That's why it's a sequel that I will defend, because I don't think it's very good, but damn, do I love so many things about it. I don't know. I love that. I love a good tropical, gorgeous setting for a horror movie, especially one that gets into some viscera, some brutality, blood and guts spraying around, organs on the ceiling kind of thing. I just love that. My dream movie is film it in like Hawaii or something with blood and guts spraying everywhere. The splatter flick in Hawaii. That's my dream movie if I could make it. If I had infinite money, that's probably what I would do. The first like selfish thing I would do is make that movie. But anyways, Mastermind Killer, thank you for the 5. I greatly appreciate it. I'm hyped. Hopefully I can see these videos because that cracks me up a ton. Pat and Jester is saying, have I ever heard of Calva Lewis? No, if not, listen. Calva Louise, maybe. If not, listen to their song Impeccable. You'll thank me later. Okay. Shit. Hang on. Give me a second here. I'm just gonna follow them real quick on my little app here. I'm liking the look of okay. I'm liking the look of this. That's a pretty sick little album cover there. Damn, pretty fucking okay. Shit, I'm loving the visuals here. We were just watching music videos last night. And there's some really cool music videos out there. If you guys, so Rammstein is a band that I got into maybe a couple of years ago, and big thing that blew me away about them, I love their music, really good stuff. It's all in German, so that might be kind of weird. But the thing that really blew me away the most is their music videos. Like, coolest music videos I've ever seen in my life. And I'm no hyperbole there, not trying to be melodramatic. I mean, genuinely some of the best music videos I've ever seen in my life. For Sana, the fucking music video for Sana is the coolest thing I've ever seen. It is like dark fantasy, Snow White energy. It's I don't know, just so interesting, visually stunning. I could watch their music videos literally all day. Lots to love there. Lots of really cool stuff there. But that band, I'm going to check out, Pat and Jester. Thank you for the rec. For Misery Gaming, I did see the video you posted of the art animatronic in the Discord. Very, very cool. Very cool stuff. Appreciate you sending those out. I saw all the videos that you posted from Halloween Horror Nights, and I'm like kind of... I just watched them and I was bummed. I was like, I wish I was there. That's the coolest shit ever. Why don't you just visit me in Florida and shoot a movie? I have 4 extra cameras in my studio. Bet, dude. Let me know. Can we ruin your place with fake blood and guts because my folks won't let me shoot at their house anymore? I ruined their kitchen during Chicken Man, dude. Like that whole kitchen was covered in blood. My God, it was brutal. Gina's throwing the last $2 out there. Thank you so much for the support, Gina. We met our super chat goal, ladies and gentlemen. You guys freaking rock. Appreciate it. Appreciate that support. Means a ton. So much love, Gina. Thank you. I'd off both, but I hate Mindy. It took me 3 attempts to even manage to watch 6 without cringing because of her. I think my least favorite part of 6 is that scene where she's talking at the park or whatever. I just like, my thing about it is like, if that actually went somewhere, if all of that actually meant something, I could have gotten into it. But like, Randy would say things back in those original movies and it would go somewhere. It would affect the plot later on, maybe in unexpected ways, not exactly how he said it, but that's okay. Mindy's just been wrong about everything. That's my problem. I hope that she kind of has I hope that she has some sort of, I don't know, some weight here. Give me something that, like, I like having a know-it-all character that still gets bested. Like, that to me was the purpose that Randy carried throughout that movie, was that he kind of had it figured out. He was right, but he didn't have the confidence to speak on it to everybody. You know what I mean? When he was pushed into a corner by Stu, yes, but until, you know, I mean, he's not, you don't see him actively going up to Sydney and saying like, oh, well, I think your boyfriend's the killer for this reason and this reason and this reason. That doesn't happen. That's kind of what I wanted from Mindy. Mindy is the opposite of Randy. She has confidence and she's wrong. Randy's interesting because he doesn't have confidence and he's right. Like, that's what's so cool about him. And then I think that's kind of why he had to die in Scream 2. I want to do a whole video about this at one point, but you see Randy start to be a little more confident in Scream 2. And I think that's kind of like, the more I think about the decision of killing him there, it's like, yeah, no, he had to die. He had to die in that film. Otherwise, he would have had it all figured out. He probably would have had it all figured out in the next one too, after that, and so on and so forth. Randy had to die in 2. It's a bummer, but it's like, he would have masterminded this shit after being, you know, going through it so many times. So if Mrs. Loomis never sprayed all that cherry sauce on his face in that van, I don't know. Who knows what the outcome of these movies would have looked like. MG Donner is saying, I think Thanksgiving, I wish we got a sequel to that or something. I love Thanksgiving too. I think it's a banger. Great movie from 2023. I think it, honest to God, is one of the best reveals in a murder mystery from the 2020s. I think it's a really very, very well done little thing there that I really enjoy. I think it's got a great cast, some crazy kills, really fun setting too. Love the Boston setting. I hope we get a sequel too. I only want them to make it if they really have a good idea, though. You know, I think that's kind of my thing. Does Thanksgiving need a sequel? I think that's kind of the question as of right now. We know that Eli Roth is crazy busy. I need some water. I think what's going on. 2 seconds. I think Eli Roth is just busy, dude. Like, that's the problem. He's doing this horror section thing. He has slipped into the producer role. He's picking up all these like independent films and releasing them in theaters unrated. And I kind of love it. It's kind of a really sick little new gig that he's got. Why I don't mind it at all is because I like the idea of the Terrifier approach, and that's exactly what he's taking with movies like Jimmy and Stiggs, this Dream Eater flick that is not playing anywhere near me, unfortunately. But I'm really digging this idea of just releasing all these unrated horror films in the theaters and seeing if people come out. To my knowledge, things are going good so far. I'm not 100%, but I really hope that I really hope this company can see some big things in the future, because for me, it's a really interesting premise for a production company, and I'm excited for more to come. I'm excited for more crazy movies in the future here. So I do want a Thanksgiving sequel, but I think I'm just weirdly a little more invested in whatever the horror section's getting themselves into. That's a company I might do a video on at some point in the future, because man, Jimmy and Stiggs, it was not perfect by any means, but it was a really interesting and really interesting movie to dissect. Lots to talk about there. You gotta respect the DIY filmmaking. And the whole movie's shot in Joe Bagos's apartment. Like, that's great. There's multiple settings too, and it's all in this apartment. Like, it's sets, but I won't say any more than that. Just watch it. If you like splatter flicks, I recommend it. Walter Crowley is saying, hey, Jake, I'm going to Spooky Empire in Orlando. Very nice. On Halloween and the next day, it will be my first horror con. Plan on getting pics with Roger L. Jackson and Kane Hodder. I can't wait. Enjoy, Walter. Have so much fun. Oh, that's awesome, man. I hear both of them are incredibly nice, so I think we're gonna have a really good time with that. I'm jealous. I have not gotten the chance to meet either of those fellas, so very cool stuff. Very, very cool stuff. EN is saying, saw Rammstein last year in Germany. Their show was from another planet. I thought you said from another plane. No, that is cool as hell. I got to see them in Philly a couple years ago, and it is truly one of the greatest live shows you'll ever see. There's fire. There's like metallic towers that shoot shit from the top of them, like if it's confetti fired, all these different things. Lots of fire, basically, is what I'm trying to say. The theatrics from the show alone is worth your time on top of the music, but I'm very, very glad I got to see them live in my lifetime, man. It's crazy. Bummed out that Jimmy and Stiggs hit me with a copyright for covering the 2 fake trailers, not the kind of punk rock approach that they present themselves to have. Ooh, I didn't hear it. I didn't know anything about that. That sucks. That's no fun. Huh. I wonder what's up with that. You're talking about the fake trailers they played beforehand that are like also on YouTube. I'm guessing you just kind of, yeah. I don't know. That's weird to me. I talked about Jimmy and Stiggs. I don't think I think that was a Patreon and channel member video. So I don't even think I posted that on. I don't even think that's like a live video or anything. Damn, I never got hit with anything for them. But that sucks, man. I'm so sorry. That's no fun. Zoe Crawford is saying, how would have Randy evolved as a character if he lived through all the sequels? Zoe, I'm telling you, like, what would he be doing nowadays? He'd be figuring out the mysteries before they even happen. Like, he'd be overpowered. Randy would be like an overpowered character. If he gained confidence, like how you kind of start to see him do in Scream 2, I feel like that character just gets way too overpowered. You know what I mean? He'll have everything figured out. You'd have to write in a new reason for people not to believe him. You know, you'd have to have like, okay, this is happening, but there's some kind of but in there to make it so that Randy isn't just completely persuading the group to take down so and so. You know, that would be what he'd have to do. Some kind of controversy. Maybe Randy gets into some trouble or something. I don't know. He's a non-credible source at a certain point. But I really like that. Zoe, how are you doing, man? Hopefully you're doing well. It's been a long time since you've been around these parts. Glad to see you here, though. Thanks for hanging out with us. Appreciate you a ton. Doshi is saying hello there. What's up, Doshi? How are you? After Scream 7 comes out, I would love for Roger L. Jackson to finally make a cameo. He could play something similar to Wes Craven did or be killed by Ghostface. Would be super meta. Ghostface kills Ghostface. That could be fun. Yeah, like just a janitor or something, you know, like he just kind of gets stabbed by Ghostface. That would be fun. I'd be into that. I'd almost want to see him get a call. He's talking to himself. Just because that would be so satisfying as a fan. Come on now. I'd love that. Ben Urban is saying, I waited more than 15 years for Thanksgiving and I wasn't disappointed in the least bit with what we got. I actually watched Thanksgiving 3 times at the cinema and I have it on DVD. I will say, I agree, Ben. I really enjoyed Thanksgiving and I really like the approach of, well, this is the remake to the lost 80s film. That's kind of that's what Eli Roth said about it, which I thought was cool. I think that's a really fun idea to approach in that way. I will say, I understand the criticisms of that film. I did a whole breakdown of this movie over on my Jakey Retro page, like last year, if you haven't seen it. Probably one of my better videos over there. I really enjoyed that. Really enjoyed making that one. And there's a criticism of Thanksgiving. A lot of people were kind of disappointed it wasn't set in like the 80s or didn't have more of the 80s slasher vibe where it's much more modern, much more like Screams 5 and 6 feeling versus, you know, like The Mutilator or Pieces, you know, like movies that it's clearly inspired by. It's one of those things where I'm like, I kind of get it though. I get why they didn't want to make that movie because they kind of already did with the trailer back in 2007. I feel like that trailer is all the best scenes. Eli Roth literally describes it as all the best scenes from this fake movie. We don't even have to film the rest of it. Let's just film the juiciest, most disgusting parts. And I understand not wanting to essentially make that movie because you've already seen the best parts. Here's the remake of the movie that is calling back to those scenes, but taking the story down a different direction. I'm kind of into that. That to me is a little more interesting than just, you know, doing a movie that literally builds up to the scenes you've already seen in the faux trailer. So I personally was not disappointed in it, but I do understand I do understand the criticisms of that film. I think it's a valid criticism, but I'm happy with what we got. I'm happy with the modern take on it. So Joe Gret, thank you for being a channel member, saying Christy and Thanksgiving are tradition for me on that long holiday weekend. Last year I added the sacrifice game. Very, very nice. Love that. I'm curious what you watched during Halloween, because we were talking about that earlier. During this month, what movies do you like to put on? Because Thanksgiving is a yearly November watch. Come on now. But I'm curious what you like to watch during October, during Halloween season. I have a few. I feel like I've added VHS Halloween is one I'm going to watch every single year now, for sure. I think I got to watch Trick or Treat again. I love this movie. So much fun. Very just Halloween fall vibes to it, which is great. Very glad we got to put that one on. You also love Rammstein. I love that. Love to see that. Love to see some love for that band. They are fucking tight, dude. Fucking tight. If you have not listened to them. Very good stuff. Bobby is saying, hey, Jake the Snake. What's up, Bobby Robbie? How you doing, man? Bobby Bo Bobby. How are you, my friend? What about a Scream chase movie like Mel Gibson's Apocalyptico? I could kind of get into that. Like the whole thing's basically just a chase. And we're like maybe watching through flashbacks or something of who it could be. That's how we're trying to figure it out. I'm down for setting up Scream in different ways as long as you preserve what's great about it. You know what I mean? You could totally present Scream in a different manner than where it's been before. Because I think that's another thing that feels repetitive about this franchise is we're kind of always setting things up in exactly the same way. It feels like there's a structure to these films that is expected. And if you deviate from that, that's when things get pretty fucking cool. But I also worry, like, is it, would that be too weird? You know what I mean? To make something that's just so off the beaten path, doesn't have an opening scene, is more just like one long chase with little breaks of narrative in there. I don't know. I'd be open-minded to it for sure. I might really dig something like that, but I think when it comes to Scream, people like that, like a little bit of familiarity. People like the structure of Scream. They want to know what's going to happen in the opening scene. They want to know what that third act reveal is going to be. What the motive of our killers is. Who's the target? Who's this? Who's that? I understand that too, but I'm not into messing around with the format by any means. I could totally get into that. I'd be down. If Kirby really is in Scream 7, what if she's the opening kill and then maybe her rumored TV show is a prequel to how she became a cop? Damn, that's so brutal. Kirby, the opening kill. I mean, I could see it. I could see some crazy shit like that. I'd really be into a prequel series that takes place in between like 4 and 5. Maybe even her like at Quantico. You know what I mean? That could be interesting. Her training to become an FBI agent and then she's getting involved with like a different Ghostface massacre. I don't know. Something. I'd be down for that. I think if you're going to do more with Kirby, though, it's got to be Ghostface oriented. It's got to be showing her going after, different people in masks. But how? How do we do that? But again, set it up differently. Make it more of an FBI show, like a Criminal Minds, but with ghost faces. That could be nuts. I'm down though. That could be kind of fun. You plan on having a Saw marathon? That's great. I love that. Great to put on during this time of year for sure. Saw movies are like synonymous with Halloween, man, because they used to release around October every single year. It's just like, yeah, for people who grew up during the thousands, Saw was Halloween. You know what I mean? That was like the big thing during this time. So I totally get that. Totally get that big time. I've had my reservations about the lack of graininess in the finished product, but I love Eli Roth's perspective, i.e. the remake to a lost original. Yeah, and I think that's kind of like, if that's what they were going for, I feel like they totally hit the nail on the head, And like, to me, it's like, cool. They weren't going for, grainy 80s slasher flick, which I also feel like when movies try to do that sometimes, they feel too repetitive or like a lesser product. Like you can't help but compare it to something from that time period, which it's just clearly not going for. There's stuff about like 80s slashers, late 70s slashers, 90s slashers, that, stuff from the 2000s. There's stuff from all these different time periods that have certain great positives. And sometimes when you try to mimic that style and you don't have those things that are so great, especially about 80s slashers, which were all about the blood and the gore, well, then I'm kind of disappointed. You know what I mean? I feel like there's so many movies nowadays that emulate the style but don't deliver in the same ways that those flicks did. Like, sure, you got the style, but you don't have the blood and kill, the bloody kills. You don't have the insane looking slasher. You don't have the certain kind, the right vibe or characters having the kind of dialogue that matches the time. if you're going to do a period piece like that, there's so many things you got to get right. Like it is not easy to do a period piece that really feels like it's from the time. One of the closest movies I think ever to do it though, is House of the Devil from Ty West. Dude, this Ty West movie, it is from the 70s. Like if I didn't know any better, I'd guess that was a 70s flick, and it's from like the middle of the 2000s, which is crazy. It looks, it feels, it sounds like it was shot in like the late 70s. This weird little like satanic horror movie, and I love it. Really hard to recreate that in the modern day to make it really feel like it's from that time period. But man, if this movie gets nothing else right, it is the time, the setting, the time period, the way the movie feels. It feels like a 70s movie, even outside of the plot and all that. I just, love it. Some great stuff there. Tid Morgan is saying, hey, Jake, how are you doing, man? I love your t-shirt. Craven would have loved it too. Oh, you're damn right he would have. Stew Train, baby. We're rocking and rolling with it. So I love it. I love it. Thank you for hanging out with us, my friend. Appreciate you. No, you don't like Scream 6 much. I do like Scream 6 quite a bit, but the latter scene is sick, and seeing two ghost faces swipe their knife at the same time was so badass. No, I really do like Scream 6. I've been a defender of it. I have issues with it, but I do really like it quite a bit. The fresh ideas in Scream 6 carry a lot of weight for me, and that to me is just such a far cry from some of these other sequels that won't even try to do any sort of deviation from the actual typical formula. And I appreciate that Scream 6 attempted. I think it fails at some things, but it has some really cool moments. That opening scene is like one of my favorite moments in all of Scream and Scream 6. That's kind of what puts it on the map for me, is the fact that they were able to do something just so outrageous, so different, something that just deviates as much as humanly possible. So I really do love that opening quite a bit. The double knife swipe is sick as fuck. It's like the Ghostface movie. You know what I mean? If Halloween Kills is Michael's movie to just run around and kill, this is Ghostface's movie to just be fucking badass in Scream 6. Like, I think easily, without a doubt, what's my favorite, like, Ghostface before the reveal? Like, I'm just talking about when Ghostface, like the presence of Ghostface. I feel like Scream 6 is easily my favorite. I'm the most scared of Ghostface running around town in 6, maybe more than any of the other ones, if I'm being honest. And I know maybe that's a hot take, but I fucking love Ghostface in Scream 6, man. I don't know. I think the reveal ultimately ends up being a little disappointing, but I do really love the scary presence that New York City has with how they dealt with that encounter. Some really fun stuff there. Joe Bagret is saying, I normally watch horror movies, but in October, I like watching the Universal Monster movies. VHS franchise and Halloween franchise minus Resurrection. Totally fair. I would go watch a Saw movie every October. Good times. Love that too. Very nice stuff, Joe Bagret. Some great choices there for sure. I still haven't put on a Halloween movie, which I usually watch Halloween 3 and the original, but I'm thinking about switching it up this year. I think I'm going to watch 2, 4, and fuck it, I might watch H2O because I haven't seen that one in forever. Last time I watched H2O, I was showing it to my sister for the first time like 3 or 4 years ago. We were doing like a Halloween marathon. And I think we got all the way up to H2O. I don't think we watched Resurrection or any of the new ones. Damn, we're gonna have to do that. I'm gonna have to hit her up. Sasha Miracle is saying, Jake, hey, it's finally Scream 7 talk. You're damn right, Sasha. What's up? Let us know your thoughts, feelings, concerns about the upcoming Scream movie. Throw it out there in the chat. This is one big therapy session, essentially. Wig Wolf is saying, Trigger Man is my favorite Ty West. I don't even think I've seen that before. I know he's got a lot of weird movies before, like he kind of blew up. I'm literally typing it in wrong. I have never seen that before. From 2007? What? Yeah, I have not seen this movie. That's crazy. 3 friends go hunting in Delaware, but things take a turn when they suddenly and mysteriously become the hunted. Ooh, okay. That's cool. I'm into it. I'm going to have to try this one out. Interesting. Who's in this? Larry Fezzidan's in this? Okay. All right, I'm invested. I definitely want to check this out. You know, I just found a movie from Simon Barrett the other day that's it's a horror western that's really good. What was the name of it? I don't even remember the name of it, but I really want to pull this up. Because if I don't talk about it, I'm gonna forget, and y'all need to know about this movie because it's crazy. Dead Birds. Oh, Dead Birds, banger, dude. Like straight up major hidden gem from 2004. I cannot believe this one isn't more well known. Michael Shannon's in it, Henry Thomas, Isaiah Washington. It's got a great cast. It's a horror western, like some crazy sequences, some really shocking moments. I don't want to say more than that. Just watch it. It's awesome. Really good movie. What else do we got going on here? For Misery Gaming is saying, besides Trick or Treat and Halloween, what are some of your favorite horror movies I can show at our Halloween party? I love Pumpkinhead. Pumpkinhead is one I watch every single year too. Outside of like just the typical ones. Terrifier 2 is another one that doesn't get brought up too many times, which is a shame because I also love that quite a bit. Love me some Terrifier 2 during this time of year. I think it's just like a perfect Halloween movie. If you want something really brutal, that is. And I'm really trying to think what else. Haunt is another good one, criminally underrated, also takes place during this time of year. Scream 6, technically a Halloween movie. So there's also that. Kind of weird that they released that one in March and not October. That would have been a perfect October release. It feels very October the whole time as well. Trying to think what else I put on. Pumpkinhead is one I really want to get to this year if I can. So that's the one I'd like to watch at our party. Pat and Jester is saying Scream 6 is some of Ghostface's best kills since Casey Becker from the original Scream. Totally agreed. I think there's people complain about the amount of kills, but like the ones we do get are pretty damn cool. I don't know. Scream 4, very underrated. Agreed. Some great moments in Scream 4. I think that one has the best killer reveal of the entire sequel from Scream 2 to Scream 6. Yeah, it's Scream 4 all day for reveals. I'm considering revisiting Zombies Halloweens tonight. Those, I just have so many mixed feelings about them. I really like Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 because it feels a little more like just Rob Zombie being allowed to be unshackled and do his thing. He breaks out of the chains of what is the original Halloween's plot, which it just feels like he didn't really want to do in that original Halloween. Like you can feel this unwillingness to follow that story. The opening scene of the original John Carpenter movie is basically stretched out over the entire first half of that flick. I don't know, man. I just cannot. I don't have too much love for Rob Zombie's first Halloween, but I kind of love the sequel. It's grown on me quite a bit. So, it's weirder, but like that's what I want from a Rob Zombie film. I want him to just kind of be able to do his own thing and get weird with it. Applying his style to IP is really tough, man. I think he's just one of those guys that's better when he's doing his own thing. 31, what is it? Devil's Rejects and House of a Thousand Corpses. Those are like his best films, I think. What else is going on? Horror Paradise is saying, I don't want to be negative, but with Skydance owning Paramount now and handling certain IPs as they have with their new mission statement, the chances for a Kirby project are low, maybe a film. I would totally be down for a film personally. A Kirby movie I think would totally rock. Kind of doing something maybe at the same time as Scream 7, you know what I mean? It doesn't seem like Hayden Panettiere is in this new one. For me, at least, I feel like we got to explain why Kirby's not there because she made a very big point to say, I take a special interest in Ghostface cases, and now she's not going to be there for 2 of them when she was in canon an FBI agent. So what's up with that? What's happening there? Yeah, so if she's not in this one, I would almost love a movie where it's kind of showing us what she was getting herself into during the events of Scream 7. That might make a little bit of sense or something, right? But there's nothing. Here's my thing too. You're not being negative, my friend. I feel like there's a lot of people who are going to tell you you're being negative. You're just, taking what you know about the film industry and applying it to theories and talking about what may or may not happen. I feel like there's this fear of talking negatively about Scream in the space, and I get a lot of hate for it, and I feel like other people do too, and I think that bums me out. No, the Scream franchise has done some really stupid things, especially lately, and we shouldn't be afraid to criticize it, even if it is our favorite movie franchise. I want it to continue being one of my favorite slasher movie franchises, and for it to keep fucking up in the way that it kind of has in the last couple of years. Well, that bums me out. I don't want it to fuck up. I want Scream 7 to be another banger in this series because we've gotten a lot of really good movies here. And you shouldn't be afraid to criticize Scream or criticize, don't be afraid to criticize the things happening there because trust me, there's some people online who will get real angry with you for criticizing their favorite franchise. But not everything's, not everything involved with the Scream series is crystal clear and perfect. There's always been problems with this franchise going all the way back to the original. So Don't be afraid to get a little negative sometimes. It's okay. I promise. I've gotten a little negative sometimes, and you have to. We can't just be all like, yeah, this is fine. You know, the director getting death threats because they decided to sign on to this project. That's not fine. Trust me, that's not a good thing. So taking a little break here. Got ourselves a little bit of an ad. So we're hanging out for a sec. Gonna take a sip of my water. If you're still with us, hello. Hi, hello. Oh yeah, baby. Okay, ads over. Gina's saying, I love Rob Zombie's Halloween films. Yes, they're mental, but at least it's not the same shit. I do agree with you there. It's definitely a different approach. I think it's a little more brutal in a lot of ways. And I do appreciate the brutal kills. You know, I will say that, but it's kind of like you don't get a break from it. Is kind of my criticism. You need little like ups and downs in slasher flicks. Like I want a crazy kill, and then maybe a little bit of story, you know, to kind of let that wear off, and then we can have a big hit again. By the time you get to like the 47th kill in that movie, I feel like it's not shocking anymore. I actually like the kills in the first half of that flick better than I do in the second half, when I would argue they're probably on paper more brutal, but just the shock value is worn off by that time. So kind of my thoughts on it. Man, we got some really good comments coming in, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Sasha's saying, out of Tatum, Olivia, and Casey, who is your favorite, including Jill and Annika? Who's my favorite character out of all these characters? Tatum, Olivia, Casey, Jill, and Annika. I think I got... Oh, man, this is really tough. Hang on. Pause. Pause for a second. I think I'm going to go with Jill. I love a lot of these characters. Tatum and Annika, I feel like I really like quite. Annika's an underrated character. She doesn't get enough love. That the fact that they were able to make me care about her so fast and then she fucking dies is a testament to the improvement upon the writing skills from Scream 5 to Scream 6. That to me just is exactly what I wanted from... That's the kind of improvement in terms of character work I wanted from 5 to 6. And Annika was a testament to that. So I definitely really like that character. I really have no love for Olivia, if I'm being honest. I don't know. She's kind of just girl next door, typical character, whatever. Tatum, great character with some of the most iconic lines in this entire series. You gotta love Tatum. And Casey Becker, I feel like we didn't really get to know her too well, but there is that emotional angle there too. That is an upsetting death, especially when we see her parents come out the front door. It's a little cheesy, yes, it's a little goofy, but it's still effective. It's still great. When the mom screams, it is kind of silly. She sounds like a chicken. Watch it again. It's got a bit of a chicken noise to it. But Jill, probably my favorite character because I feel like she plays both sides really well. But there's hints at the evil at her core throughout. Who eats a fucking cheese stick like that? You know what I mean? Only evil people. So Jill's got to be my favorite out of those 5 that you listed. But that's really tough. That was a tough one, though. I had to really think about that because Tatum's a great character. It's very close. Tatum, excellent character. I love her quite a bit. We just decided, I forgot to say this, by the way. Meant to say this earlier, but I don't even know if I've been live since this weekend or not. But I just, we just figured out our costumes for Halloween this year. My fiance and I. She's going to be Tatum from Scream, and I'm going to be Ghostface. So we're literally going to recreate basically the garage scene from Scream, which is one of my favorite scenes in that whole flick. So really excited for that. It's going to be fun. We were trying to figure out what to do with costumes, and I'm like, I have a Ghostface robe. I should just do that. And she's like, well, who am I going to be? And if you don't know, she's a redhead. And I'm just like, oh, you should be fucking Tatum. That's perfect. So got it all figured out. We got a costume that almost matches what Tatum was wearing in the flick. we did the best we could at the Goodwill. Okay, did the best we could, and it's pretty damn cool. Let me tell you. So I'm really excited to post some pictures of that. We got the Halloween costumes ready to go. What do I want from the movie Queric V? I really want just a good old fashioned Scream movie. This is back to basics, so make it exactly that. Give me a good murder mystery. Give me some great character work. And also, if there's any place that can step up in terms of doing things differently, I really want some brutal kills, some good chase sequences that lead to brutal kills. And I'm trying to think what else. just finding a creative way to build tension with the character of Sidney Prescott, a character we know is never going to die, but he's still the lead of the film, so you still need to build tension with your final girl. We know she's not going to die, so how do you build tension with a character who can't die? We can't just chase her. Can't just be as simple as that. A Sidney chase scene is not going to work at this point. So what do? Well, she has family members now. The tension is with them. You know what I mean? I want to see Tatum getting chased around. I want to see her husband getting chased around, or chasing Ghostface because he's a cop. That makes a little more sense, right? These are the kind of scenes that I think are going to be the best at building tension. Because if I'm telling you right now, if Sidney Prescott is the only person in danger, I'm not going to care. I know she's going to get out of it. There's just no, even in Scream 5, when she's walking around with a gun, I'm just like, yeah, she's going to be fine. She's going to shoot Ghostface in the face. It's going to be fine. It's going to be whatever. I need her, the other people around her to be in trouble, to be in peril, for there to be some sort of tension still built in these sequences. So kind of the big thing I'm looking for. This is a tough one to do. You know, Scream, I think with every Scream movie that's in chronological order that builds off of the last one, it gets a little harder for different things that were established from the past that you have to keep consistent now. I think it's a tough thing. It's a tough thing that they got to do with each sequel as long as they keep doing this. So I'm really hoping that they've aced this one. They've, dotted their I's, crossed their T's, and all that fun stuff. But it's gonna be tough. It feels like there's always gonna just be something now at this point that's a little off, just because there's so many. It's a long list of things you got to keep consistent. Catbread is throwing 5 out there. Thank you so much, Catbread. Love the lasers shooting out of your eyes. Is the bread around your head giving you those powers? I'm just curious. I need to know, because I will also staple bread to my face if it means I can shoot lasers out of my eyes. It's a very simple ask. Anyways, you're saying, hello, everyone. I hope everyone had a blessed day. I'm really excited to see the Black Phone 2. I absolutely loved the first one. Oh my God, me too, man. I'm seeing it here in a couple of hours. Humble brag. I'm kidding. No, I'm just jazzed up, dude. In a couple of hours, I'm seeing one of my most anticipated sequels of the entire year, and I will have a spoiler-free review out tomorrow morning. I'll also have a little bit of a video go up tonight, little spoiler-free first reaction out of the theater of this movie. But review videos coming out tomorrow morning. Really excited to talk about this one. Black Phone 2, I know in my heart I'm gonna like it. The early reviews were a little more mixed, but I feel like I'm going to dig this one based on what I know about it. It sounds like it's something right up my alley. It's going for like a Nightmare on Elm Street, but with a much different and more like serious, dark tone about it. And I'm like, I think this is going to work. I really feel I have a lot of faith in this one, and I've been disappointed with a lot of releases in the last couple of months. I'm kind of shocked by the movies I liked and disliked within the last couple of months. The only one I knew I was gonna like was like VHS Halloween, of course. I mean, VHS could take a crap in my hand and I'd probably give it like a 6 out of 10. But anyway, anyways, Him was a movie I was really disappointed in. There was another one, Good Boy. Big disappointment in my opinion. Hot take. I don't know, but not the movie I was expecting by any means. The Conjuring, I fucking loved it. I'm shocked. Like, just all these things I was expecting to have the exact opposite opinion on. Black Phone 2, I need this to be a win. Please let it be a win. Please let it be a banger. Praying to the horror gods right now that this is awesome. But yes, we will be talking a little bit about it tomorrow, like I said, and go see it Thursday and Friday, because I think this is going to be a rare hit from Blumhouse, ladies and gentlemen. I know they're kind of hit or miss these days. They are, but this one I feel like is going to be something good from them, which I'm really excited for. Catbread, really appreciate your support. You're saying that maybe it is the bread. So I feel like that's a hint. I'm going to go get my stapler and a whole loaf here in a second. But so much love. Thank you for the 5. Thank you for the support, my friend. Greatly appreciate you a ton. Walter Crowley is also saying, do you go to horror conventions often? Have you gotten the chance to meet some of your favorite celebrities? Yes, I did get to go a couple of times within the last couple of years, which was great. My first horror convention was back in 2022, if I'm not mistaken. The first time I ever went, I think it was 2022 or 2021. I can't remember now. God, it's been so, I can't believe how long I've been doing this. I'm very thankful for it, let me tell you. But I think it was 2021. I think it was 2021, because I think I didn't go for like a year, and then I went to one in 2023 again. But I have gotten to meet a few people. I got to meet Matthew Lillard multiple times, which was awesome. I got to meet all the Terrifier people like multiple times as well. Just so nice. I met Damian Leone and he jumped out of his chair. He was like, "Oh my God, dude, what's up?" And I was like, "No way, did fucking Damian Leone just right?" I had to leave. I pissed my pants afterward, if I'm being totally honest. No, but I've had some really great experiences meeting my heroes. And, you know, they say don't meet your heroes, man, because there's some genuinely great people out there. So was really thankful for that, really thankful for some of those great experiences. But we just moved into an apartment about 2.5 months ago, and it depleted pretty much all of my savings. So I am slowly recovering from that right now. I have not gotten to do really anything fun this October for that reason. So I'm just kind of... I'm just making shit happen. I can't complain though. Life is great. I'm engaged for the first time in my whole life. Earlier this year, I live with my fiance now. She should be home any minute now, and I'm going to be cooking her spaghetti. And I'll tell you what, I couldn't be happier. So I seriously cannot complain. Just making shit happen. You know, that's all you can do in this life, my friend. But I hope you enjoy going to that horror convention, Walter. I hope you have a blast meeting Roger L. Jackson. I'm really jealous of. Kane Hodder too. You know, Mr. Jason Voorhees himself would love. I'm still bummed he wasn't in Freddy versus Jason, let me tell you. But have so much fun, get some pictures, do all the stuff, have a good conversation with them. Meet your heroes, baby. Walter, love that so much. Ty Lee is saying, it's happy you're still on. Hell yeah. What's up, Ty? How are you, man? Thank you for being a channel member. What's up? Adam James is saying, Jake, what do you think Stu's role will be in Scream 7? I'm thinking genuinely, and this is from an unbiased standpoint, if I thought that Stu was alive, I'd be honest with you guys, and I'd be like, I think Stu might be alive here. But if I'm being honest, I genuinely think they're doing flashbacks based on the casting list, based on some of the other elements that are kind of known about this movie already. I just feel like it's got to be a flashback to 1995, 1996, sometime then. Something that was going on between Stu and Roman. And maybe even that's why David Arquette's there. We heard from Courtney Cox. This is honestly the biggest reason outside of the casting. We heard from Courtney Cox a little while ago. I believe this was like early in the summer. She was talking a little bit about how, and I'm paraphrasing here, she's like, I don't think we can do a Scream movie without testing out the chemistry and the romance between a character like Dewey Riley and Gale Weathers. And I really think that tells me that I don't think Dewey's alive. I think we're going to go back. We're going to flash back to some shit that happened in the past that we weren't able to see. Maybe a scene that happened in between movies, which would be interesting to me because there's so much time that, happens in between movies like Scream 3 to Scream 4, Scream 4 to Scream 5. There's a lot of time there, man. I mean, even in between Scream 1 to Scream 2, there's like 2 years, man. So like what happened, what happened all then? I'm curious. I'm interested in learning more about that. If we can kind of dive into that a little bit here for Scream 7, if it can go somewhere to push a new story in a way that's fruitful, in a way that means something for this franchise, I'm into it. Sure. So what can Stu's role be in Scream 7? Maybe he was up to some crazy bullshit back in, before he died, before he allegedly died. He died. Let's say that. What was he up to? I don't know. We're going to find out. I'm imagining that's probably what it's going to be. It's some sort of, I think someone was saying earlier, it could have been like, there's a camera recording somewhere, right? It could have been something like that. Roman was filming things. Some meetings the ghostface meetings that they were having back in the past. I don't know, something like that. I'd be into it. I think that would be fun. I would love to see the character of Stu Macher interact with Roman Bridger too. I think that would be a very interesting conversation. I wouldn't mind seeing all that, kind of fleshing out some of the different roles and conversations that would have happened there. So Samantha Robinson is asking, when are we going back to butt nuts? If you guys don't know what that means, you're missing out on the gaming channel. That's all I'm saying. We're going back to butt nuts on Thursday. Maybe no, I can't do Wednesday. I want to do Wednesday, but I can't. We're going back to butt nuts on Thursday at 7 o'clock. No, at 3 o'clock. We're time zones are weird, aren't they? 3 o'clock. We're doing a water park stream. So stop on by if you want to know what butt nuts is. Samantha, great question. Phoenix is saying congrats. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Thanks for the support. Sarah Thompson saying hello, Jake. Hello, Sarah. How are you? Welcome in. Welcome in. Ben Urban throwing 5 out there saying, you and Craig Taylor are the classiest guys on YouTube. You're so kind. Thank you so much. Thank you for spreading yourself so thin in order to respond to everyone. Kudos to you, Jake. I do what I can, Ben. Thank you. Thank you. I think that's kind of the fun. That's the fun of this page, is being able to just chat, to just like kind of get your idea about, get your idea out there about Scream, whatever that may be. I value that so much. When I first started doing this page, and when I was kind of getting into the horror stuff, I would go into other people's live streams. I won't say who, not trying to, in no way trying to shit on anybody, but I would put something out there and I would not get a response. Like, no one would care. I'm like, it's kind of why I'm here. I want to talk to somebody about, crazy movies and shit. And I was like, that's what I'm going to do with my streams. And it's been a hit. So I'm really thankful for it. I'm really thankful for the support. And I'm also just grateful for the conversation, man. I mean, I know I joke about it in my videos, but I genuinely did not have anybody to talk horror with. And now I have almost 37,000 people. So I can't complain. I'm a very lucky guy. I've gotten a lot of the great things that I've wanted out of life here. So thank you guys for the support. Really appreciate it a ton. And Ben, thank you for the 5, man. Really does mean a lot. Filming the Ghostface meetings for leverage. Yeah, why not? Or maybe someone else was filming. That could be part of the mystery too. It's like, who was filming this? Maybe that's the next clue in the mystery. Gail finds this footage of someone secretly filming this conversation between Roman and Stu. Wouldn't that be kind of an interesting, piece of the pie, right? A little piece of the mystery that takes us from point A to point B. That could be fun. Who was filming? Who knew about Billy and Stu before it even happened? That would be an interesting bone to pick 30 years later. You know what I mean? If maybe that's our killer. Maybe someone who's trying to, wrap it all up, trying to make it seem like they didn't know all these things, but there's all this weird proof that they did that's only coming out now for some reason. I don't know. There could be something along those lines in this new movie. I think that could be kind of fun. Walter saying, that's awesome, bro. The Terrifier cast will also be at this one alongside, along with the cast of Jason Takes Manhattan. No fucking way. That's awesome. Are you a fan of the Hatchet films, by the way? Thoughts? I have a lot of respect for the Hatchet films. I think they have some brutal kills and some fun characters throughout. I love all the different, just different characters from horror, especially. A lot of familiar faces. Tony Todd, especially, being a big one in there. I don't know if I've ever really been into the overall story of Hatchet though. And I think that's like a big thing that keeps me invested when it comes to like a good slasher flick versus one that I'm not as interested in. Kills are great, no complaints there. But I'm not as invested in the mystique of Victor Crowley, I think, versus someone like Art the Clown. And I think that's kind of the big difference. A lot of people have told me like, dude, if you like Terrifier, you got to watch Hatchet. I don't know. They're just not as intriguing, not as interesting to me. I hate to say that because I really have a lot of respect for Adam Green. I think he brought some genuinely great people together to make those movies. I admittedly have not seen all of them either. I've not seen the last one, Victor Crowley. But the other ones, the kills are amazing. I can't stress that enough. I love the kills. Kills are 10 out of 10. Sarah Thompson is saying, I think with Stu and Roman coming back, they probably will definitely show how Roman came into the picture in the beginning, but I also believe Stu will be alive. I definitely want to see Roman. Yeah, how Roman was kind of formulating everything. I think that could be a ton of fun. Would be very interested in seeing that happen. And again, if Stu is alive, well, you know what? I know that Craven will be with me in spirit, checking it out, vibing out, probably screaming in my ear, I told you so. Because I know that's what he would say. Gina saying, once again, Stephen Craven Something Scary tribute stream on Friday night, USA, or early Saturday morning in England. Is that really early Saturday morning? That's crazy. Donations will go to the family. Yes, come on by. It's going to be a really fun stream. The thing that I don't know how Knight is going to handle it is I'm pretty sure we're going to want people to send money through a PayPal link versus like super chats. If I'm not... I don't want to speak for him, but I don't know it's going to get kind of complicated if you send that. So send it through. There's going to be like a PayPal link on the screen. I think. I don't know. I don't know how Knight wants to handle it. I don't want to speak for him, and that's all I'm going to say about it. But what I will say is stop on by because we're going to be celebrating Steven's life, and I know his family is going to be watching, which is going to be great. We've been very thankful to be in contact with them. I know they're grieving right now, but I'm really thankful that they've been reaching out to us and us to them as well. So stop on by Friday. It's going to be a great celebration of life, and tell us a story that you might have, maybe something from one of Craven's streams that might have happened. So let us know. Let us know what's up with that. Ty Lee is saying that's why Jake is the best small horror page. Thank you so much. Some don't even acknowledge their fans, not saying any names. Well, Ty, I really appreciate that a ton. I would be absolutely nothing without you guys, and that's why I'm very thankful for it all, man. It has been it's been a wild ride doing all of this. So I'm thankful for every minute of it. I've talked with you guys about this before, but I literally one of my favorite series that I cover on this page is the VHS franchise. And I've been such a big fan of that series for the longest time, like since well before I started this page. I recently had, people from these movies reach out and thank me for my coverage of the new film. And I can't even tell, like, that to me is unreal. Like, to be such a big fan of a franchise and like to have something like that is crazy. And again, none of it would be possible without all of you dudes. And I'm just very thankful. I've had a lot of great things happening in the, I've had a lot of great things happen to me, and it's because of all of you guys. So I would not be where I am without your guys' continued support. So much love. Thank you. And I'm just really excited for all the crazy shit that's going to happen in the future, because I have a lot of fun things planned, a lot of fun things I want to get to, and I hope we can make it happen. The Sir is saying, the Sir says, "Hi, Jake. Hello, sir. How are you? By the way, I think Scream 7 has a tall order to fill. Hope it's at least good. Check out Isabel May in 1883. She is great." I hear that show's phenomenal. I have not watched a whole lot of Taylor Sheridan's work, but I've heard that and Yellowstone is just phenomenal. So definitely going to get around to that at some point. So many shows, so little time. I still haven't finished Alien Earth, dude. I still got one more episode of that, and I just have not gotten around to it. But one of these days, we're going to do it. The Sir, thank you so much for the love. Appreciate it. Thank you for hanging out with us. Nick Chris throwing 5 out there saying, "How come no one is talking about Dead of Winter with Emma Thompson? Saw it in theaters and loved it." Dead of Winter. I've never even heard of that before. Emma Thompson and Dead of Winter. Dead of Winter. Watch it be like it's not a zombie movie. There's no way. But sounds interesting. Okay, it's a 2025 film. I mean, directed by Brian Kirk, written by Nicholas Jacobson Larson and Dalton Lieb. It's got a pretty dang good Rotten Tomatoes score, and it's about a grief-stricken widow who stops by a remote cabin after getting lost on the back roads of Minnesota in the middle of winter. She soon finds herself in a desperate fight for survival as she encounters a murderous couple holding a young woman hostage. That's really interesting. Ooh. I vibe with that a lot because I feel like it's one of those just like I walked into the wrong fucking situation kind of thing. I vibe with that a lot. Judy Greer is in this movie too. Okay. It's got a good cast, man. Emma Thompson and Judy Greer. I haven't even heard of this movie before. Like, I'm actually kind of bummed. When did this come? Dude, when did this come out? One of the biggest surprises of 2025. People are saying about it. This is awesome. It just came out a couple weeks ago. I was in full Strangers mode when this movie was likely in theaters. I was just focusing on Strangers Chapter 2. Clearly, I picked the wrong movie. Let me tell you, because this sounds a lot more interesting than that flick. But Nick, thank you for the 5, my friend. I greatly appreciate it. My God, what a stinker that was. Fort Misery Gaming is saying, Jake, do you think we would possibly get the scene in flashbacks of Stu and Billy, or maybe even Roman killing Sid's mom? That's kind of what I would hope for. That's kind of what I want to see more than anything. I feel like there's a lot we could learn about how that event actually unfolded. Like, especially if it was not how we thought it went down. Maybe we thought we had it all figured out, but maybe there's some other element to it that influences the story now. That could be a lot of fun. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what they end up doing, but I'm hoping that if we go back to any event, it's that one. That's one of the biggest kills in the franchise that's never been, illustrated on screen before. Billy Loomis, the actual killer, hanging out with us, saying, "Hey Jake, what if you said the mental patient is a serial killer, is a serial killer and becomes infuriated with Ghostface and has hallucinations of Stu and Billy encouraging him to kill. I have a feeling that they're going to do some weird shit with this mental patient character. I have a feeling that they're going to take it down a totally different route, where this is somebody who maybe is a Ghostface, maybe is helping out. Because here's the thing I can't get over with the mental patient stuff. I believe this rumor based on some other things I know. I know that there was a car involved with a sequence with Miss Courtney Cox. That's all I'm going to say. So I want to believe this is something legit. Why is she running this dude over? You know what I mean? What is driving her to run down this character and basically kill him? It's got to be that he's Ghostface, right? It's got to be after a big fight, a big chase or something. This has got to be an early Ghostface reveal. And it's like a no-name actor too. So like anyone could have played this part. Anyone could have played this killer. It's someone who clearly doesn't have any lines in the flick. I don't know. I'm wondering what's up with that. Maybe this is like a decoy, or we'll find out. We'll find out a little later. But I think it's got to be something along those lines. It's got to be like, this is like an early revealed Ghostface killer or something, is what I'm thinking. I've thought quite a bit about it, and I'm like, that's got to be what it is, right? Carrie Craves Cinema. What's up, Carrie? How's it going? I made a post on my channel to share it out. Love that. Jake, you're one of the best out there. So much love. Thank you. So glad I found your channel. Carrie, we're glad you've been here for such a long time. I'm glad you're hanging out with us still, Carrie. It means a lot. It's been a pleasure talking Scream with you for such a long time. So thank you for being here. Thank you for hanging out with us. Means a lot. Really does mean a lot. CB Reactin is saying just stopping by to hit that like and say, hey, what's up, C? How's it going? Welcome in. Thank you for being here. Jake Dexter wins at some point, I promise. that's 8 whole seasons, man. I'm trying to find a way to watch all of Stranger Things season 5 in the next couple of months, man. I don't even know. I don't know when it's going to happen. Hopefully it happens. We'll find out though. The Sir is saying, thanks, Jake. You're an amazing dude. What if Scream 8? Oh, I think Scream 8 is happening for sure. Written and directed by Taylor Sheridan. That's crazy. I hear he's like a phenomenal writer-director, so I feel like he could tackle it. Feel like he could probably get that figured out. I am down for somebody else to do it next time, though. I really like what Evil Dead is doing. Like, Evil Dead has a different person writing and directing each time. It's kind of what I love that series for that reason. Like, we get a different flavor each time. I almost hope that Scream adopts that approach moving forward with the franchise. I like when different people are able to put their own 2 cents into a new murder mystery. That's fun to me. I'm feeling a little woozy here, is saying, Jake, what if the overarching villain this time is Roger L. Jackson himself? I like that. He's pretty much the one who gave Roman inspiration in The Voice 2. You pull a scary movie, they copied a killer who already existed. That's actually kind of interesting. I like the idea of copycat, but like with a modern take on the motive or something. I don't know. I mean, you could spin that down a fun direction. A lot of people want to see Roger L. Jackson actually run around in one of these movies, and that could be a fun way to do it. So I'm into it. I'm into it for sure. Sarah Thompson threw $2 out there. Thank you, Sarah. Appreciate that a ton. Means a lot. Thank you for being with us. Walter Crowley even threw in a 5 too. Thank you. Love to see it. And Jake, have you finished Funhouse? I did finally watch it. I really liked it quite a bit. Very fun 80s slasher. You want me to do a review of it? I could do like some sort of something about it. I could make something happen. See, what the tough part is I'm always trying to find a way to I'm always trying to find a way to talk about older movies on here, but like whenever I post videos about that, no one seems to care. That I literally started a whole other page. I literally started a whole nother channel just so I could talk about like movies that have come and gone already with this Jakey retro page. Because I'm just like, I cannot get people to watch videos about movies that are not from within the last 6 months for whatever reason. I think I've just built this page on what's next in horror. You know, what's the next big thing to cover, that it's tough for me to do like some sort of look back at the same time as all that. So I think this new page, this Jakey Retro, this is going to be my channel for looking back. And I'm with all due respect, I know we all love Scream here, but I don't think I'm going to be talking about Scream anytime soon on that page. I think the goal with that channel is to talk about the stuff that I don't get to talk about here, just in general. So I just don't think I'm going to do some sort of big video talking about any of the Scream movies. The only reason I say that, is because, like, I mean, I have talked about everything regarding the Scream franchise on this page at one point or the other. I want to get into the other movies that I really like over there. So if you're down to just talk about general diverse horror topics, check out my other channel, Jakey Retro, which is going to be, I'm really not going to post there often, but when something does go up, it's going to be something very high quality. My next video right now is on Bring Her Back from earlier this year. And it is, I'm halfway through a script right now. I'm very proud of it. It's going to be, it's an event. I want to make uploads over there, like basically events where here it's just, what's the flavor of the week? What's going on right now? Let's talk about it. That's the vibe of this page. And I want it to be something totally different over there. So if that's something that interests you, check it out. If not, that's totally fine. If you're just here for the Scream stuff, respect, you're in the right place. No worries. But David, thank you so much for the 2. Maybe I'll get around to Funhouse at some point. Maybe I'll have a time to do a whole breakdown of that video. Or that movie, I mean, a whole video on that movie. There you go. David, thank you for the 2, man. Thank you for the support. I really appreciate it. What did I think of the Primate trailer? When do you think the trailer for Primate will release, the new horror movie in January? I hope soon. That's what I'm really excited for, Mike. It's coming from Johannes Roberts, an underrated director, a director who does not get enough credit, in my opinion. I really like a lot of his movies. I'm excited for this one quite a bit. It feels like the opening scene of Nope, if that was a full movie, based on the plot description. It's about a pet monkey who goes feral and starts killing an entire family. It sounds insane. I'm here for it. Let's go. Let's make it happen. So Primate, I'm down for it when that drops this January. That might be like a weird hit out the gate with 2026 horror, man. So definitely excited for that one, Mike. When will we get a trailer for it? Probably soon, I imagine. I can't imagine we'll have to wait too much longer. It should be around October time. October is a great time to market your January dump month releases because it's like, oh man, the horror fans are gonna, they're gonna eat up whatever crazy horror movie you release in January when nothing else is really in theaters. Like, are you kidding me? Now's the time to market a movie like that. To remind everybody, hey, spooky season's only gonna last a couple more weeks, but in January we got some crazy shit going on. So that would be fun. That would be fun for them to release a trailer like basically any day now. What else is going on here? We got Samantha saying, Jake, you should check out the water park horror movie Aqua Slash. Oh, I'm so into it. Especially after playing Water Park Simulator on the gaming channel. I need some horror at a water. I need that vibe right now for sure. That's interesting. I'm down for it. I see some people asking about the other channels. Gina's throwing out some of the links. I will say they're just on the page. Like if you just want to find them, if you go to like my front page here on YouTube, if you scroll down a little bit, there's a little section that says more epic channels. And there's GullGotha, which is my gaming channel where we're playing a bunch of different crazy horror games over there. And the other channel I'm really uploading to right now is also Jakey Retro, which is, again, just going to be big deep dive videos on bunch of different diverse topics. I don't plan on repeating a whole lot of topics. I am doing a video. I say that and I literally am planning doing another creep video here in a couple of weeks, but I'm going to mostly keep it to as many different diverse horror topics as humanly possible. You never know what you're going to get, kind of vibes. So I just posted a video on VHS 94 about a week ago, a little over a week ago now. And I think it's truly the best YouTube video I've ever made. So check it out if you're interested. If not, again, no problem. Joseph is saying, hey, Jake, maybe a surprise Ghostface in Scream 7, like Roman faked his death. In Scream 3, Chad Meeks. In Scream 7 is our Ghostface. He was a cyborg the whole time, and his motive is that he's fueled by AI that will take over the planet eventually, and there's nothing Sydney can do to stop him. I want to see that. That's what I want to see Scream just go full sci-fi, full Terminator like that. No, I'm just kidding. What would Chad's motive be if he was a killer, like for realsies, and not cyborg Chad? I don't know. That's kind of my thing. I feel like he's too nice, but maybe that's why he's a killer. It's because he's too nice. Maybe he hides some darkness underneath. I don't know. I'm not 100%. It would be crazy to make a legacy character a killer. I think it would just be really interesting because you've already, fought alongside these people and now they're betraying you. That feels dark. That feels messed up. I could get into something like that if we decided to go down that route in the future. I feel like you would have to lay the groundwork for that in a previous movie, though, moving into something else. I guess I just don't know what Chad's motive would be that I could really get behind, but maybe there's something really shocking that our writers have thought of. I'm into it. Pat and Jester just subscribed. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. A lot of fun stuff going up on that channel. I got the whole rest of the year is planned out for releases. And I'm really excited. I got some good ones going up over there. Let me tell you. So I'm excited for you guys to see some of those videos. The Marvel Lord is with us saying, what's up, Jake? Kind of mad Wonder Man got delayed to January. It did? Oh shit. Yeah. You were just talking about how much you were excited for that. That's brutal. Well, hopefully it's good. Hopefully the delay's for a good reason. Maybe they got a good reason to be delaying it. Got to fix up some stuff and make it a better product, you know? That would be a lot of fun. Gina, thank you for throwing out both of those links, by the way. I really appreciate that. I cannot do it while I'm streaming. Otherwise, I'd just be sitting here typing, and that wouldn't be a whole lot of fun. So thank you for that. It really means a lot. Jem Witt is saying Ghostface in space. Listen, Scream X is coming, ladies and gentlemen. It's fastly approaching. Okay, we're at Scream 7. Only got a couple more before Ghostface goes to space. Ghost space, if you will. Carrie is saying Chad wouldn't really have a reason unless if Mindy dies and he snaps. That's really it. Jason X was the only horror icon in space that somehow worked. I love Jason X. It's such a silly movie. Oh my God. What a silly little film. Very good times. EN is saying, Jake, do you think the trailer will lay out the main plot of the film, or will it be misleading with a voiceover of Stu or Roman and a few clips of the Ghostface attacks? I will say I definitely think we're going to get some reveals about what's going on in the flick with the legacy characters. Here's my thing. Whatever it is, whatever they got going on with Stu and, Roman and David, whatever these characters are doing in this flick, I feel like they're being a little more upfront about it. It feels like a ruse. You know what I mean? I feel like it's something that's kind of obvious and not necessarily played as a surprise, and probably going to be the focal point of the marketing for that reason. So I think in that first trailer, we're going to see Stu, we're going to see Roman, we're going to see David Arquette as Dewey again. I really do, because I don't think they're trying to pull the wool over our eyes here. I mean, they've announced them being part of the cast. I can't imagine they're going to try to play it as a surprise in the movie for that same reason, So what I think we're going to get from that trailer, it's going to be a lot of we have new questions afterwards. And that's what I'm hoping, at least. I'm hoping it lends itself to new questions to be asking. We've been asking ourselves the same questions pretty much since January. And we haven't really had too many updates. But once we get that trailer, I think it's going to be a whole new slurry of questions about what the hell is going on with this, and that. And I'm excited. I'm excited to finally dive into a little bit of that and get something new to talk about, Horror B23 is saying, really wanting Minnie to bite it, Martha to join the mom Ghostface cult, and Chad to be in shock finding out his mom is helping the moms of the cult to get Sid. There's a mom cult? Just like a bunch of Karens running around, just being ghost faces. That would be the funniest motive ever. I couldn't speak to the manager, so I donned the mask. I'm the manager now. That's what I want. A cult of Karens for the next movie. Jem Witt is saying one of my favorite kills is the cryo kill. I love Jason X. Great movie. Smashing that lady's face that's been frozen. It's always very fun. One of the highlights of that film, without a doubt. I love the simulation. I love when Jason thinks he's back at Crystal Lake and the girls are like, oh, we're gonna have premarital sex. That's ridiculous. That's a lot of fun. Very meta, very 90s Jason X. Very fun stuff. Well, I think my fiance just got home. Hi, Madison. Did you have a long day? Okay, I'm going to get off stream and I'm going to make you some spaghetti. Some tasty spagooter. I have a very hungry woman who needs some food, ladies and gentlemen, so I got to get off. But so much love to you guys, a ton. Thank you for hanging out with us. And we'll be live again tomorrow night, I believe. I'll be late stream tomorrow, 7 o'clock Eastern time. So stop on by for that. It's going to be a lot of fun. Again, very early tomorrow, Black Phone 2 review. Spoiler free. It's going to be freaking awesome. So stop on by for that. Again, guys, so much love. And as always, don't forget to kill it out there, y'all. Peace out.